Damian à ma gauche est un réalisateur qui aime vous faire peur. Déjà son premier cours, réalisateur, est terrifiant. Son premier long caveat est également terrifiant. Vraiment, c'est le maître de jump scare. Voilà. Vous savez à quoi vous attendre.
Okay, Damian, it's so good to have you here. What do you want to say to the audience before we start?
Okay, so thank you very much for coming to see this and to the festival, for having me. I'll keep my introduction very short. I love horror movies deeply, and it's the slasher and the ghost and every type of subgenre. And what I'm quite proud about this is that it has a little bit of everything. So if you're not afraid of ghosts, that's okay, because there's very dangerous, crazy people in this. And if that doesn't work, we have a wooden man. Lots of different types of scares. So hopefully there's a little bit of something for everybody, I hope. So thank you.
And most important, after the screening, we are going to have a discussion with Damian, and you can also ask questions. Very welcome. And so please stay seated until the credits are over.
Donc Damian est un grand fan de films d'horreur. Déjà, il vous remercie chaleureusement d'être là. C'est un grand fan de films d'horreur sous toutes ses formes. Du coup, si vous n'aimez pas, par exemple, les fantômes, vous serez servi par autre chose. Si vous préférez les slashers, vous serez servi aussi. Vous en aurez pour tout beaucoup. Et à la fin de la séance, il y a un Q&A, donc restez s'il vous plaît.
Alors, on dit bonne séance. Hein? Bonne séance.
Bonne séance.
Yeah.
Donc la question est sur d'où le film vient, les idées initiales pour le film.
Well, I had made one film before this, and it was very difficult. So every film I make, I worry that it's my last. So what I wanted to do was to put in as many ideas as I can, as I could fit into one film. And with this, it seemed to be it could have been a lot of different short films. The man trying to talk his way in, the haunted bell, and just to bring all them together into one story. So that was kind of the idea, just a lot of different ideas in one story.
Donc étant donné que son premier long métrage c'était assez compliqué à le faire, il s'est dit que pour le second il allait essayer de mettre le plus d'idées possibles dedans. Donc le film pourrait être une accumulation de courts métrages finalement, entre juste la petite cloche, les versions différentes, mais c'est vraiment essayer d'accumuler des idées dans un même projet.
Yeah, it really feels like you have in your mind an ensemble of things which are scary, like for instance being chained, or that someone is biting your toe away and stuff like that. Do you go around and make notes? Oh, this could be really scary.
Donc c'est comme si Damian avait plein d'idées de ce qui pourrait faire peur, par exemple être attaché, ou cette idée qu'on pourrait se faire mordre le doigt de pied. Donc est-ce qu'il a une accumulation d'idées, de choses qui pourraient faire peur comme ça?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a part of my mind that's just always thinking of this strange stuff. I don't know why, but it's just always there. Just trying to come, ideas will just come up. Oh, that would be scary, or this could be funny, and it's really as simple as that. I don't really know where the idea comes from, but there's definitely a part of my mind that's always gravitating towards that. Yeah.
Donc il a une partie de sa pensée qui est toujours sur des choses qui pourraient faire peur, et puis il est toujours en train de penser à ça de manière constante.
Okay, the center of the film is this wooden man, the sculpture, and you know all the time, we all know that it's going to move at some point. Yeah, I hate you for that. And but was it really in the end? Was it a digital effect, or is there was it a person in costume at the end?
Donc c'est la question, c'est sur ce personnage en bois où on sait toujours qu'il va bouger, on sait juste pas quand ça arrive. Donc est-ce que c'est un effet pratique ou un effet VFX?
So what we have is we had two models. So the model that's sitting at the table, it's a dummy. He has no legs. He's fitted to the chair. So that was one.
Donc il y en a un que vous avez vu avec les gestes, celui qui est assis comme ça, c'était pas de jambe, c'est vraiment juste l'attaché à la chaise comme ça. Donc pratique.
And then when he comes to life and he starts moving around, it's played by a very tall, big stunt performer. Now he couldn't see anything for the whole day. We had to put him into the suit, and he was blind because of the nature of the costume. So I think about 4 o'clock, he really needed to go to the bathroom. So you'd look over, you'd see the wooden man really needing to go. So yeah, but that was it. It was a stunt performer and then a model. Yeah.
Donc c'est un grand cascadeur qui a un énorme costume où il est aveugle et il peut rien voir dedans. Et puis du coup ce petit geste, c'est qu'en un moment de la journée, il fallait effectivement qu'il aille quand même aux toilettes. Et puis du coup on voyait ce grand personnage en bois qui se promène.
Of course, you are really good with locations, and Caveat already was playing in an isolated house, this again in an isolated house mainly, and it's all about dark corners, very dark corners. Just even the beginning, it's like you have one person outside, you have the other inside, and what is more scary, outside or inside? Then you have the tent in the house. So what is safe, the tent or the house? It's really cool. So my question is, what was very important for you to find this house? What are the most important elements for you for the setting? Sorry.
Donc ça concerne les lieux de tournage, que là on est vraiment avec une maison isolée, avec des coins très sombres, et puis on ne sait pas si finalement il fait plus peur dedans, dehors, ou est-ce qu'on peut être à l'abri, est-ce que c'est dans la tente, dans la maison, dans un recoin, donc la question est là sur les lieux.
It was very much written for the location. I had made one film here before, but I built sets. I built all my sets inside, so it was like, well, the room was really cool. You got like a walkway overhead and very tall, high walls. So I just wrote it around the location. I just said that the location itself is so interesting. Write it for that, and especially when you don't have big budgets for your movies, you're always trying to write it around things that you can get access to. I've always done that with my short films, with everything. So, and my friends owned the house, so again, it was written specifically for that room, which is great. It's a great location.
Donc c'est un lieu qu'il connaissait déjà, il avait déjà effectué un tournage là-bas, et en fait un ami à lui est propriétaire de cette maison, du coup tout le film est vraiment construit sur ce lieu-là. C'est une des raisons notamment quand on a des difficultés financières, un budget restreint pour un film, on essaie toujours de pouvoir se rattacher à des choses plus simples, et du coup toute la construction du film est vraiment faite sur ce décor-là.
Okay. Are there questions or comments? Yeah, please. Yes, somebody's coming.
Thank you. So I really loved Caveat, and I was really happy to see you back on a feature film, and really liked it as well. So speaking of Caveat, so I saw in the Oddity store scene little nods to the previous movie, yeah? And I'm just wondering, was it just like an Easter egg, or are you thinking something bigger? Your cinematic universe? I don't know.
Donc la question concerne le précédent court-métrage Caveat, où dans le magasin de curiosité, il y a des références à ce court-métrage-là. Et la question c'est de savoir est-ce que c'est juste des petits easter eggs, des petits indices, ou si c'est quelque chose qui pourrait amener un univers Damian Mc Carthy.
Thank you. I'm glad you like Caveat. That's great. Thank you for that. The little bunny we had in Caveat, I don't know if anybody's seen it, but we had this haunted drunk bunny, and he tells you where there are ghosts. That bunny's gone. I don't have him anymore. But the artist that made the bunny from Caveat, she made that for me as a present. She said, well, put it in the movie. It'll look cool in the shelf. And a lot of the haunted objects are from my short films. So there's like lots of bits and pieces that are from the film that point up there. I don't know if there's any big plan for it. It's just a nice little thing. It interests me. I think it looks kind of cool. So it's more of a way to nod towards Caveat and just to say, yeah, they could be in the same, they're related a little bit, I guess. Yeah.
Donc tout pourrait se retrouver dans le même univers, mais c'est pas forcément le but. Beaucoup des éléments qu'il y a dans ce magasin de curiosité viennent de ces films courts précédents. Donc Caveat, il y avait un lapin qui identifiait les fantômes, si j'ai bien compris. J'ai pas vu, j'ai bien fait. Et puis il a été offert en cadeau de la personne qui l'a fait, puis il a dit, ah, mais mets-le dans le film, ça sera super. Du coup il apparaît de nouveau là. Mais c'est plus des références que d'un univers.
There's a bit of Conjuring vibe with this room and everything is, like. Okay, another question maybe or a comment? Yeah? Yeah? Did you? No? Okay, sorry. So then I come up. Oh, here's one question. In the middle? Yeah, the mic is coming from the other side.
Bonjour, bravo pour le film. L'ambiance sonore en fait du film pour poser l'attention, le suspense, tout ça. C'est quelque chose que vous avez en tête au moment du tournage, voire même à l'écriture, ou c'est énormément travaillé en post-production?
Thank you. Yeah, I would. I think for a horror film, the sound design is everything. For me, if I'm watching a film and if I get scared, I'll turn off the sound. I won't cover my eyes. I just think, get rid of the sound and it's not scary anymore. Oh yes, and when I'm writing, yes, all the time. I'm always thinking of the sound or listening to scary music. There's just sound effects, a lot of wind. It's just to create the atmosphere myself in my head, to help me visualize it.
Donc ça vient vraiment au moment de l'écriture, tout le temps cette pensée constante, parce qu'il dit que quand il regarde un film qui lui fait peur, il se cache pas les yeux, il coupe le son, parce qu'on comprend le son que ça fait plus peur. Du coup pour lui c'est vraiment un élément primordial des films.
Maybe we talk a little bit about your way to work with the actors. I mean, they are all awesome, and I think really cool is that every single, even the smallest characters are have a meaning and are important. And Carolyn Bracken in a double role is of course awesome. I mean, do you have really distinct expectations on how the actors should do, or do you leave them also a little space? Can they talk with you?
Donc la question est sur la direction d'actrices. Par exemple là, il y a Caroline Bracken qui est en double rôle. Chaque personne a vraiment une place dans le film. Donc la question c'est de savoir est-ce qu'ils sont très libres ou pas. Comment est-ce qu'elle se fait cette direction?
I think with actors, I'd be a terrible actor. But for actors, what you do is you write it as best as you can. And then a good actor, you just leave them alone. Just give them little things here and there, but for the most part, just let them use their imagination. I mean, I talked to all of the actors before and said, like, what do you think of the character? Give me your ideas. And if we have the same idea, you just stay out of their way then as much as possible. Not try to give them too many notes. And I mean, every actor in this works so differently, but for the main part, if an actor's got a good imagination, like everybody in the crew, just try to let them bring their ideas and just try to make sure it all belongs in the same film, I guess.
Donc lui-même se dit qu'il pourrait être un piètre acteur, mais là il a eu la chance de travailler avec une équipe qui est vraiment super. Il essaye vraiment d'écrire au mieux leur rôle, mais après il leur laisse vraiment le plus de liberté pour avancer. Ils discutent très peu pour être sûr qu'ils vont dans la même direction, mais il leur laisse vraiment libre cours à leur imagination. C'est vraiment là que les choses se font de mieux.
We talked about sound, location, and also maybe one last point is for me the timing. I mean, I think the way things, I mean, you really take your time all the time, you know, and I think it's great edited as well. But also the actors, I mean, you, like for instance the last scene now with you wait for he's putting the bell, then you know he's looking around, and we are like, yeah, it's getting some more and more suspenseful. I mean, how do you know how to do that? How do you feel this, or how is the process to get this timing?
Donc la question est sur le timing, le temps, la durée des scènes. Puis là l'exemple du coup c'est cette scène finale avec la petite cloche où on attend, on sait que ça va venir, et puis d'où ça vient du coup cette notion du timing.
I think just like anything creative, it's just your feeling towards it. You know, we edit it and we go, it's not very good, it's not very scary, and then you start moving things around, try to make it short or sometimes make it a little bit longer. And it's just a lot of experimenting and finding that sweet spot where it works.
Donc c'est comme tout processus créatif, c'est vraiment le sentiment qu'on a. Il y a des tests de longueur et tout ça, mais c'est vraiment trouver ce petit moment où ça fonctionne parfaitement.
Okay, so my last question, or was that the question? Ah yeah, okay, cool.
There are a lot of internal rules and logic that seem to propel the film, and we discover them as an audience moving forward. When you define that internal logic in the script and then shooting and editing, is it ever difficult to adapt or change that logic to make a decision that you think ultimately will serve the film better? Is there maybe an opportunity or an instance where something changed as a result of a discovery that you made on the day?
Donc le film a une logique interne, et c'est savoir si cette logique-là change à des moments du tournage.
I think, thank you. I think the script is always much longer. Too much much detail. You go into just greater explanation for everything. And then once you get to the edit, you just start taking more and more out. I think it's important to have the script longer, just so that everything's clear, that the actors know what's happening, so the story's easy to follow. But I mean, we've all seen so many TV series and movies that, you know, people use their own imagination again as they're watching this film. So a lot of that internal logic, or how do these things work, people kind of make up their own minds. It's for me, it's more interesting as a film than that. Even as an audience, you know, you bring your own ideas to the film, and essentially, and you know, start filling in these blanks.
Donc le scénario est toujours plus long, plus détaillé. C'est aussi important pour que les acteurs puissent vraiment avoir une idée de toute la logique entière du film. Mais au montage, il y a vraiment des sortes de coupures qui se font, parce que si tout le monde a déjà vu plein de films et de séries, et puis il faut laisser libre cours à l'imaginaire, personne n'a pas besoin de tout expliquer.
So my last question, can you share what you are afraid of personally? And also, are you scaring your friends and your family all the time? Do they like you?
Donc la double question de qu'est-ce qui lui fait peur et est-ce que lui fait peur à ses proches?
Everything. This, public speaking. Yeah, I don't think horror films really scare me anymore. No, I think more real life things, you know, the threat of violence or just stuff that's happening in the world. But as for ghosts or anything supernatural, no.
Donc c'est plus la vie réelle, notamment être là en face de vous qui lui fait plus peur que les films d'horreur ou les fantômes, ce genre de choses dans la réalité.
No.
Just keep it for us, yeah? Okay. So yes, thank you so much, Damian, for coming. I look forward to your third film already and hope to be scared again. And thank you so much.